Okay, so I'm making this video, y'all. But first of all, let me just tell y'all, I'm lying down in the bed. The lights is off. I don't feel like getting up. But I got it facing the TV just because I wanted to give it a little light. Because if I face it towards me, then I can't. Y'all can't see my face at all. It'll be completely dark. And um, don't pay too much attention to the television, because I ain't trying to receive no copyright violations or nothing from them folks. Um, but I know a lot of people play music and TV in the background, and it's cool. So let me just get to the point of what this is about. While I was lying down, just about to go to sleep, I was thinking about the divine separation, and I was just here with God. Cause I'm by myself right now. The man out here, he went to the store. He was hungry, and I just was sitting here with God. And whenever I lie down and get to stretching and everything, I know that I'm safe in His arms. And I lied down in the bed and started stretching out and turning over, getting comfortable, and spending time with my God. And I said to myself, and I said to God, I said, it was a good thing that you didn't let those friends and family members and people accept me growing up, because it was very, very hard to have people deliberately trying to do stuff to you your entire life. I mean, deliberately. And that's not even really what I wanted to talk to God about, but mainly because there was a divine separation when I was in the jail cell. And I said to God, I said just now when I was lying down, I was like, God, it's a good thing that you didn't let me be accepted by those friends in school, and that you didn't allow me to be accepted by a certain family, by family members, that you didn't allow me to be accepted by the crowd, because I would have been right along selling my soul with the rest of them and talking about some 666, because my friends would have been doing it. And back then I was so naive that anything that my friends would have been doing, I would have been doing it too. I wasn't the one to go get tattoos. I don't have any tattoos. And that was kind of when I started separating from those girls, and they all in this coven now. And I don't want to cry, y'all, but I started being outcast from girls and people that I was cool with, and these folks done sold their damn souls. And so now I'm sitting here with God, and I was like, it's a good thing that you let those girls, that you didn't allow me to be accepted. And if I would tell you, like, if I could go into details about all the shit that these Satanists did to me in Atlanta, when I was just a child, not knowing that I was a cult child. I didn't know that that's what they do. They abuse you. And then they all act like they don't know what's going on. So I thought about it, and I was like, thank you, God. And that's when I thought about the divine separation that the Lord have done. He has done it already. So you'll see me by myself, and you won't ever see nobody around me. And that's because of the divine separation that has taken place. And God said His children will be scattered and have to be gathered. So I know that I'm by myself in the situation, but with God, because of the divine separation. He had given us a choice, and there was a lot of us that was falling off from the path anyway, and I was one of them who pretty much didn't know what to think about life and about God. But I knew that our enemies were plotting on us, and I knew what the Bible said and what our ancestors taught us about survival, according to the Word of God. So when everybody started turning and people just started being so wicked, like I didn't understand why good people was turning bad, and people that I knew was like good people at heart, while all of a sudden they were just like being wicked with groups of other people and throwing up these signs. I knew about gangs. I was born in Chicago and I was sheltered from the gangs. They never bothered me. But I knew not to play around, in the streets. And I learned that at a very young age. So I never would join a gang. I never hung out with gang members knowingly, because there were gang members around me my entire life unknowingly, like I didn't know. And there were witches around me, and they would always attack me. They would always do evil to me. Every chance they got, they would go around and plot together on my life. And I saw some stories about child sacrifice, about children that was speaking out about growing up in cults. And, there was a man who was speaking about being a survivor of child sexual abuse. There was another woman, there was another victim, a woman who spoke about her grandmother having abused her since she was 2 years old. And that didn't happen to me as far as I remember. I had some dreams about some stuff that could have possibly been linked to my childhood. But, it goes very deep because my son and the Satanist and the cult and them taking my son. So I did some research about these Eastern Stars and these Freemasons, who are the witches and the sorcerers, and the wizards and warlocks, or whatever, devils, demons, whatever you want to call these people. They are just the wicked, which is what the Bible refers to them as. I did my research on them, and surprisingly, a lot of their victims were speaking out against them and warning people about the Luciferian agenda and the Luciferian and satanic roots, and the foundation of these organizations. And there were people who had joined these organizations who were speaking out, and there were people who have been fighting against them in the spiritual realm of all ethnicities, who have been exposing them. They're victims, of course, these children who they had involved in these covens, and they got to be adults and they were able to get free and to tell the truth about what their grandparents and people in the community that would come to the houses and abuse these children with their very own grandparents and with their very own blood family members. And it was so horrific when you would hear about how many people were sexually abusing these children. And around the time that I was going to expose the coven, they staged for me to be put out of the apartments at Luther Landon's apartments. And y'all probably seen the video of me going off on them about it, because these black women are in covens. These devils do not let them run a damn thing unless they in that damn coven. Because they know that there's going to be a certain amount of morality that you're going to have in society. And they just want to know that, people could play the part, but whenever they need for something to get handled, they have people set up in all of the positions to make sure that they can do illegal things and harmful things to people who are innocent. So the divine separation happened when I was in the jail. There was a lot of tension that was going on before that in the spirit realm. The devil was trying to get everybody to denounce Jesus Christ. The devil was getting everybody to worship money. The devil was getting everybody to throw up the pyramid and the 666 hand symbol. And everybody was thinking that it was cool, but God has shown me that these people know very well that they have made a deadly mistake by denouncing Jesus Christ in front of these covens and in front of these witches. they done had these children going into shrines and lodges and had them wherever else they done had them in the spirit as well, denouncing Jesus Christ. And they thought that God was going to be playing with them after they did that. And they was going to all these concerts. If you guys remember the Super Bowl performance, I believe when Beyonce was performing and it blacked out, and there was a portal that opened up to where the devil was allowing all of these so-called secrets to be released to the masses, where people bit that shit like a dumbass and they are baits now, because these people probably didn't really truly understand exactly why the devil was revealing so much, but he tricked them into thinking that they had knowledge that was above the wisdom of the knowledge of the Most High God. And they went on ahead to do what they wanted to do and follow behind these witches and these covens. And I almost did it too, but Jesus Christ was basically showing up in my room, and he was scaring me. So he was putting the fear of him in me while these covens was trying to entice me away from the Most High. And so I was right there alone with the crowd, right there alone seeing what was happening. And I had a boyfriend around the time, and I almost want to cry because we were in the bathroom and I asked him, I said, I'm not going to say his name, just out of respect for his family. He did a lot of stuff to me, but, if he didn't physically harm me while I was pregnant, then I'm not going to drag him into it. But basically, I asked him in the bathroom around this time where they were opening this portal. I was like, please promise me that you won't denounce Jesus, that you won't, because he was trying to rap and stuff. And the way he looked at me was as if he was afraid, because he knew that he would. And I said, promise me. And he looked at me and he said, I promise. And he tried to set me up to be a blood sacrifice. So I'm not going to go into too many details about that, because he wanted to be a rapper. So I ended up getting jumped by people in the neighborhood several times while trying to pursue my music career in Texas at 21 years old. And his friend's family was Freemason, and I didn't really know a lot about it, while everybody was showing up to my house trying to fight me and coming all over and trying to drag me into altercations. It wasn't until I got older and I kept seeing that they kept trying to put me in situations where I would be killed or harmed, even when I wasn't bothering anybody. And then I did my research on the Illuminati, and I did my research, and I found out what they had done to a lot of the victims, and I still hadn't realized that I was a victim. So the portal opened up around that time that she did that Super Bowl performance, because the devil started telling people all of this stuff and had them thinking that, oh, we have this knowledge, we found this knowledge, we're so smart, we're going to follow after these celebrities, we're going to follow after these people glorifying all this money and material wealth, and we're just going to forget about that Bible. We're going to forget about being poor, we're going to forget about being broke, we're going to forget about struggling, for God. And we don't even know if he even exists, because half of us are praying to him constantly, and it seems like we just keep getting screwed over. And the Bible did say, because of the persecution, which is what they were doing to us, that we would suffer and not really be fruitful in the word, because we would be persecuted. And that was happening to me. So I was noticing a lot of my friends and family, people just going straight towards this occult and just gravitating towards the occult, because the knowledge of it seemed like it was good, and they made it appealing to the eyes, things that you see that you may desire and feel that you have to go through the occult in order to get those things. And then when you have all these high power people worshiping the occult, and you think that their lives are so grand, then they're having all these people following them, thinking that if you believe in what I believe. If you believe in the occult, then you can be like me. And basically, they weren't telling them you're basically about to sell your soul to the devil, and then you can have what it is that I have. And a lot of the information was already coming out. A lot of them were already being exposed for the deaths of a lot of these celebrities in Hollywood that were coming up dead, and different people all over the United States who were coming up dead due to satanic death rituals and blood sacrifices, and they were coming out. There were many pastors, there were many so-called conspiracy theorists, there were many detectives, there were many people who were coming out with their testimonies, with their evidence, with regards to the occult and what they were doing to people in America. So a lot of people were like, let's just go ahead and give them the information. But it was a reason why God allowed the devil to give his children that information, because God had been telling us the truth for generations. And for us to turn around and think that it was a game when he said, do not worship that beast. People thought it was a game, and they started hurrying to worship the beast, and they were torturing me and my baby boy in our apartment because they had decided, oh, we're going to worship the beast. And after they decided they were going to worship the beast, they didn't have no morality no more. They didn't care about killing innocent women and kids. But they had to put up a show in front of the public like they do. So that's one thing they do. And they like to hold the positions in society which are care positions. They like to have caregiving and authoritative positions because then nobody can't tell them nothing. And they can care for who they want to care for and not give a damn about who they don't want to give a damn about, and ain't nobody going to say nothing to them about it. I do believe that there have been a lot of doctors who have died because, hold on, I'm going to have to go in the bathroom real quick.